6 now. And we have our first 3 chords, finally, right? Okay, so our first chord is G. It's 4-string G. So when we play this chord, we're actually going to put our 4th finger, it tells us, which is our pinky, our 4th finger on the 3rd fret, 1st string. So we're going to go to the 3rd fret. Remember, we want to count the 3rd to the 3rd fret. So here's the nut. Here's our 1st fret, fret bar, 2nd fret bar, 3rd fret. So there's our 3rd fret on the 1st string. And we're going to play the bottom 4 strings because you have 2 X's on the 6th and the 5th string. And you have 3 circles, meaning open, on the 4, 3rd, and 2nd string. So we're going to play that together. And we'll just play. I'm going to count 4 beats and you play with me. So 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. So that's our first chord. Now, when you finish playing, don't take your fingers off yet. I know you want to, but look at your finger and see if your fingers are perpendicular to the strings. Check and see if your thumb is behind the guitar, and break your wrist. And right now you're probably going, that hurts. I don't want to do that. Please don't make me, don't make me do that. What I'm going to suggest right now is that you practice as I suggest. And right now what's happening is your fingers are saying, I've never done that before. Why in the world would I do anything like this? For any form of pushing down on strings or such. When we get into other chords, we're going to play the C chord, which is next. And we're doing this kind of thing, and we're pushing down really hard on the strings. So it's like, why in the world am I doing this? And your brain's going, I've never done this before. This is a weird, awkward position. But let me tell you a story. One time I broke my wrist, and when I broke my wrist, they put it in a cast and they held it real still like this for 3 months. They took the cast off, and I couldn't move my wrist. My wrist was stiff like this. I had to relearn how to move my wrist, break it like that, meaning break it like move it, and I had to relearn how to get my hand around the guitar. It's the same thing when you're learning the guitar. You don't have calluses on your fingers. Your fingers have never positioned themselves in the way that they're positioning them right now. So forget the idea of my fingers are too fat, or my fingers are too long, or my fingers are too chubby, or my fingers are too thin. Everyone can learn to play the guitar. You might not be able to play like Jeff Beck all the way over the neck of the guitar, but you can learn to play. And so I just want to encourage you to practice the way I'm suggesting, because I'm teaching you the perfect way to practice. And we want to practice perfectly so that we can at least do the best that we can do on the guitar. Now, when you're learning, you will see progression differently based on how natural it is for you. But what I want to suggest is that we've got 8 weeks of classes, and so it's important that you work to complete the 8 weeks of classes. If you finish the 8 weeks, you will be playing the guitar. And here's the concept of that, is learning the guitar is like riding a bike. When you ride a bike, you fall down over and over again, and you don't get up to ride the bike. And at one point, you will start riding, and it's like, oh, wow, I'm actually riding, I'm making it. So I'm going through, and I'm riding the bike. But before, all I noticed was failure. So that's what you're going to see on the guitar. You're just going to think you're failing over and over again. And so I want to encourage you that you're not failing. You're making progress. And so when you're learning, you're going to get to week 7 and week 8, and we're going to be playing chords, and you're going to be moving fairly quickly between the chords. You're going to play G, C, and D, and you're going to be moving between those chords. And it's going to be like, hey, I couldn't do that 8 weeks ago. And you're going to realize that you've improved. And that's the way it works in the guitar. You work hard and you look to an end result, but you don't see much progress. And then at some point, it's like, wow, I'm actually making progress. So I just want to encourage you that everyone that learns to play the guitar has to build calluses, and everyone that learns to play the guitar, it takes time. That's part of the process. And so we're in this class. We have 8 weeks. So I just want to encourage you to go all the way to the end and work on it as I suggest, and you'll see more about how I suggest once we get to the goals for week 1. Okay? So there was G. Let's play G one more time before we go to the new chord, which is C. But we'll start with G. G 4-string. Remember, we have our pinky, which is our 4th finger on the 3rd fret, 1st string. We'll play The bottom 4 strings, we're going to have the open strings, the 4, 3, and 2 are the open strings, and then our closed strings are the ones with the X's on them, and that's 5th and 6th string. So we're going to play the bottom 4 strings, G, together. I'll count 4 and we'll play together. Ready? 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. 1, 2, ready, and stop. Good. So there's G, first chord. All right, now we'll play C, 4-string C.